I realize I am in need of a haircut. I just want to start the video off with that, just because this is really bad. I look like a lesbian from 1995, and I realize that. I acknowledge that. But how are you, Miss Nagehan? How are you? Happy New Year. Happy holidays and all that. I realize they're technically over. Um, but whatever. Hey, what can you do? Um, I'm sorry I didn't Skype with you guys. I meant to. I was very busy. With family and church, aka work. Um, so I was, not particularly available. And with a 7-hour time difference, it was really hard. Um, so I realize you also may be ignoring me from my last post that I wrote back to you on. Touche. Um, I understand your frustration. Um, I keep umming a lot. I'm sorry. I don't know really what to say. But I want it in honor of Christmas, your favorite holiday, and New Year's. I wanted to give you a tarot reading. I'm giving all three of you tarot readings, like for old time's sake, because I miss you all very much. I do. I miss Vassar in general. I think I'm gonna probably visit soon, but in general, excuse me. I miss Vassar, and I miss our family and our house. But I do hope that you are continuing your tarot studies. I hope by now you've finished the Book of Thoth. Candace. Alright, remember Candace. Excuse me. The Finger of Admonition. But anywho, I hope you're still doing it. I know you said you were doing a little bit here and there. And I hope you still are. It is a process, especially with Alistair's deck. And I'm sure if you've done any more research on Alistair, you found out that he's a total nutcase, but in, I suppose, the best way possible. Or at least, I don't know. I have a special place in my heart for him for God knows what reason, because he was actually crazy. But anywho, so I wanted to do a reading for you with his deck. And while I'm at it, how about I give you a lesson? Ah, yes, indeed. I look terrible right now. I realize that. I'm just gonna keep apologizing for it, I think, here and there, because it's real bad. Okay, I already shuffled. Underneath everything is the Seven of Wands. Oh gosh, you and Steph, both. She didn't have the Seven of Wands, but you guys are both, like, in angst. Alright, your overall situation, oh, maybe not necessarily, is the Nine of Cups, happiness. I'm happy to see that for you. Crossing you is the Five of Swords. Above you, crowning you, is adjustment. Grounding you is the Moon. It's a very interesting reading, Miss Nagehan. And the past, or a past influence, is the Ten of Cups. And the immediate future, or an influence that's coming into the situation now, is the Three of Wands. Well, that's nice. How you see yourself, how you're projecting yourself into the situation, is the Knight of Cups. You're a man. Your environmental factors, how other people are seeing you, is as the Princess of Discs, whom I adore. Running out of room here on my little table. Your hopes and fears, your aspirations for the situation, are the Sun. Yes, you would be. And your overall result is the Eight of Discs. The brr was supposed to be like a drum roll, but it came out more like a purr, so I hope that didn't freak you out or anything. I mean, I know you wouldn't be surprised knowing the number of cats that I have. They're all very well, thank you for asking. Okay. So this is a very contradictory reading. and I'm not sure how I'm supposed to read it because you seem to be in several places at once. On one hand, you're very happy, as indicated by the Nine of Cups, which is the Lord of Happiness, and the Ten of Cups in your past. So you have very positive influences there. But then in your middle line, you have the Five of Swords and the Moon. And so these are less positive things, as you know. The Five of Swords indicates that either, and remember, of course, I don't know what your situation is, so this is strictly intuitive. So I'm hoping it's right. But your crossing your obstacle is the Five of Swords. Now, either this could mean, I mean, I sort of see it less as an issue with another person and more of an issue with yourself, perhaps, and overcoming the weakness of self. Um, you might be dealing with, I guess, an attitude of self-defeatism, maybe. Because I don't see you as struggling in terms of like a relationship. You know, the moon underneath you as grounding you indicates to me that things recently have been um, very uncertain and doubtful, and maybe a little scary, a little intimidating. You haven't really known how you fit in necessarily, um, or I don't know. I get the sense that you've felt a little lost, and either academically or socially. Probably not so much socially because of the Ten of Cups in the past. I think that if anything, that would indicate that you've gotten along very well with the people in your program, um, or just socially you've been fine. It seems that hasn't been the issue. Perhaps even your family has been very supportive of you. Um, very helpful in boosting your morale. And the other reason I don't see this as a relationship issue is because of the Seven of Wands as your underlying card. And that implies a struggle that suggests having to really put a lot of effort in to overcome difficulties and having to get kind of passionate about it in order to succeed because it does seem very difficult. It seems like there's a lot up against you. And I think part of you is not sure whether or not you're capable of handling such challenges because of the moon and the Five of Swords. And so I think you keep telling yourself that this is too good for me. Um, or like I don't deserve to be here or something like that. I don't know. There's this weird vibe of that. Um, and I don't know. Um, Now, what's interesting is how you see yourself as the Knight of Cups. Um, you see yourself as pursuing perhaps something idealistic. Again, this you've got a lot of water right now. So you're like going through emotional ups and downs, it would seem to me. Um, you have a heavy Piscean influence here. Pisces is very big in your reading, which implies a sort of dreamy, subconsciousy, intimidated kind of quality. Pisces, the fish, is a sign that gets freaked out very easily because it's always lost in its own daydreams and sometimes doesn't like what it finds there. So, with the Knight of Cups, it's like you're reaching very high for something, and you're just not sure if you can really make it all the way. Um, Even though in general you seem to be very quite happy and you feel that this is what you want to do, that this is what is right for you to do. Now, How other people see you, on the other hand, is as the Princess of Discs, and I tend to read her traditionally in readings like this as the student card. I think that applies very perfectly to you. I think people see you in this situation as perhaps not as stressed as you are, or not as, I don't want to say imbalanced, because that sounds negative, but how your emotions and your thoughts are kind of rocky. Um, Even though your actual level of output is probably still pretty strong. People just see you as being very studious, very quiet, I think. Um, Sorry, my nose is itchy. Ugh. But as devoting yourself to something that's important, I don't think people are really seeing you as particularly conflicted. So perhaps you're not really opening up about this very much. This might be something that you're keeping to yourself. Um, your crowning aspect is adjustment. Now, this is a very good card. This is how you, or rather, what your intuition is telling you you should be aiming for, what the best possible outcome could be, provided you worked toward it. An adjustment, as you know, has to do with, well, it has to do with uh, self-restriction in a way that is not so restricting as to strip one of one's personality. I'm sorry, I'm burning incense and it's really strong, so I'm going to put it out. Hang on a sec. But it smells so good. I just can't anymore. It's making my nose itchy. Oh, okay. Much better. Sorry about that. Uh, Incense break. That's why my nose is so itchy though. Sorry. Um, but adjustment, I think, has to do with, in this situation, it's like you have to calm your fears in a way. You have to uh, direct your focus away from, you know, self-defeating ideas or fears that you may be having, doubts that you may be having about the situation and where it's headed, and your ability to perform in it. Um, and you need to be able to, uh, I suppose, make decisions. What's the word I want? I see adjustment in this situation, and just to remind you of the picture, I see adjustment as very focused on what she needs to do and not allowing herself to be swayed in different directions that would be seen as unproductive. So I think in a way it's telling you to be rational about the decisions you need to make about all this. And I think it's telling you to realize that, because you are very happy here in the situation you are in, you know, at LSE doing your program, I would assume. That's what it seems to be about with the Princess of Discs, is how other people see you. Um, because you realize that it is important to you, and it is something that gives you a lot of happiness, either in the interactions you have with people, or just hopefully what you're learning, to the skills that you're learning. Um, that's what you need to focus on, I think. That yes, there might be an aspect of this that is, um, you know, I suppose a little idealistic or something. You may still be able to see it that way. But it's not a bad thing. It's not something that you're incapable of. It might be difficult for you, um, but in the sense that it would be difficult for everyone, not just because you're you. You know what I mean? Um, you're fully capable of handling this situation, and that's evidenced by, first of all, the fact that adjustment is here, um, in your crowning thought, but also in your immediate future influence, which is the Three of Wands, which tells me that, basically, that uh, in the future, coming into the situation is more of a feeling of, again, being on the right track, doing the right thing, um, and devoting yourself to work uh, in a way that's very productive, very fruitful, and very well balanced. You know, because I also see you as really striving for success. You're a very motivated person, and that shows in your aspirations, your hopes and fears. With the sun tells me that you are very focused on personal success, and really, I guess, just letting this be your moment to shine. Um, yeah, I mean, just this push for tremendous success and uh, notoriety, I guess. Um, that's a big deal for you in this reading, and I think that that's going to be your guiding impulse, or your guiding light, so to speak. No pun intended. Um, get it? Because it's the sun. Your guiding force in the Three of Wands. It's ruled by the sun, if you remember, if you can see on top. Um, and as much as there is a Piscean sort of lunar element, there is that strong solar influence too. So again, we've got this kind of back and forth aspect, this duality to your reading. And I think that's also what adjustment is getting at. That because you have such conflicting feelings and motivations, you need to decide what it is you want. And because you're so focused on success, it's telling you to keep focused on that. That's a good thing to be focused on. Don't let yourself get mired in any feelings of doubt. Um, Doubt can be a productive thing if it forces us to reevaluate what we're doing so that we can have more conviction in it, I think. Um, that's how I see it. Um, right. So your overall result, my dear, is the the Eight of Discs. The Lord of Prudence. I am all messed up from that incense. Sorry. Very attractive right now. Again, apologies for the 1995 lesbian look. Um, the Eight of Discs as your overall result. It implies, again, there's that very strong solar influence. It's the sun in Virgo. It implies that overall this is where you're supposed to be, that this is a growing experience again. I think it indicates that you're going to have to just be very patient with the whole thing. Um, I don't know what exactly I want to say about that. That it's ultimately a process of self-cultivation and um, a practical cultivation of your own skills and abilities and whatnot, and contacts and everything like that. Building a network for yourself as you embark on your career. Um, I think it represents, it's funny because it is the earth suit, which is related to money, and you are in, an economic field, or rather the field of economics. So, so that's kind of interesting. I think that's a positive sign um, for showing you being able to apply your logic and your ability to this task in front of you. That you're going to be able to do it just fine, or at least up to the point where this reading finishes. And I'm not worried about you. I'm really not. Just by knowing you, and I don't need a reading to tell me that. So, so there's a lot of optimism in your reading, which is very good. There's some low moments, but it tells you that the low moments are within your ability to deal with. That it's not as bleak as it may seem at the moment for whatever reason. That you're kind of just letting it be bleaker than it actually is. Um, you know, so be happy. I mean, it says that you are, but you're sort of conflicted about it. But be happy. That's more important. And stay healthy and all that, obviously, too, because, I mean, cold season. I worry about other people as myself. I worry about myself a lot with that. Anywho, I need to do something about this. So yeah, so I hope this was accurate. I hope it was helpful, if anything, to some extent. I don't know. I haven't read for you guys in months, and I thought it would be nice to do something for the new year and all that. And as my little gift to you, as again I miss you all very much. I wish you nothing but the best. I love you very much, and hopefully I'll hear from you back about this. And we should all Skype sometime. I'm willing to Skype individually with all of you. It doesn't have to be all of you at once. Um, so you can BBM me, BBM me anytime, because that's probably the best way of doing it, just because of the whole international thing. I don't know how else we would get in touch. Um, because that seemed to work last time. I don't know. I'm very confused about the whole international cell phone thing. Um, so yeah. Anywho, if that works, by all means, you may use it. I know I've used it drunkenly before with you and Steph. Anywho, take care, and hopefully hear back to you from you soon. Bye. Oh, that's just terrible. Oh my gosh. All right. Bye.